Hi, everyone. If you're like me and you like to experiment with data and observe what you can build by tweaking things, well, you're at the right place. And today we're going to be talking about an AI predictor that's powered with Brain.js. And I've got other videos on how I hook it up with Redux and stuff like that. But today I want to talk about one subject, and that would be about the config of the Brain.js and what happens when we tweak things like a radio. Can we observe different patterns? Can we detect patterns, reoccurring patterns in while we're investigating live market data? Because I use Binance Exchange time series to train an AI, and then we can kind of observe how the brain reacts and how the market reacts also, because I compare the predicted price with the latest price in these charts below, which we'll get right into it right now. But first, because I'm working to tweak the config. What happens here? I set up a few different apps here, which are all like built with search, um, which I'll could maybe explain right away and get that done with. How to install Surge. You see, I've been there before. See, if you got Node installed on your computer, uh, it's Node npm install global Surge, and you set up an account, an email, and you're set to go where you can build applications pretty fast. It's actually really fast. Um, But to get going here, I wanted to show some particular thing here between these applications. I've started them up already. They're all started up. At the top here, as you can see, the domain is just a kind of fast fast name domain, so I could just build one after the other. I just added like 34 here to explain my brain here. It's 34 hidden layers, and it has a momentum of 0.007, okay, in the config. And everything else is the same as in here, except 34 hidden layers, but the momentum is zero point 0.1. So zero point 0.1 versus 0.007 in the config. So we're looking at Bitcoin price, okay, and between these two charts, this is the difference, okay. Right here on the second chart, you can see there's the core line and the predictor. There's a cross through right here, and basically dead on. And this one here, which is the momentum, is a bit different, and there's a little measurement that could be taken. Okay, just detail. Now let's go on. Uh, Here we have 55 hidden layers, and again 0.007. So these, similarities. For me, it's just to cascade the kind of data similarly, so we can visualize it. So I can detect maybe something. It's like a pattern I use to see if the pattern. What's the difference with the pattern here? So 55 versus again 55 hidden layers, zero point 0.1 momentum, right? So, and so on. So I just added more depth into the hidden layers. So here I have 89, 0.07, and again 0.1. So If for by chance or by curiosity or I have a question, between, okay, I have here 0.07 and the latest price and the red line is the predicted price, just about snap together. And here, again, same thing, but over. So I got a different momentum here, right? So my concept here is my local host, okay, which is open source, it's accessible. If you got JIT installed on your computer, you can JIT clone this open source code. It's a Yarn project, so yarn it. Well, not it, but yarn, and then yarn start. You gotta. It's like a yarn npm install, but yarn works just by calling it with one word, one yarn. For those who are new at yarn, and you get yourself a local host right here. Yarn and then yarn start. And so what I did with this one, okay, the question I'm asking, where I went into my config here, I got 89 hidden layers. I got a momentum of zero point 0.1 right now. I didn't start it yet, so I'm going to change it. Okay, the other one was 007. So I want to go in between. So maybe I want to go like something like um, 9, right? Because one was 007. Let's go to like something like this in between, a bit higher. Okay, and I'm going to go do the same thing. I have 4 brains, right? So I'm going to go to 06. I'm going to go change that to 06, right? And 06. And this should be good. Control save. Boom. Compiling. Let's go back. This is my local host. So I'm just going to start her up and we're going to let it run. All right. So it has started and we'll slowly see the Bitcoin latest price, 40,558 versus I'm going to put it in between these two here. Take my picture a bit away here. Here. 55.58. We got another minute here. 545. The mouse. Now there's like kind of see the core. It went under. We had down pressure, and now it's coming back up. So, and the core doesn't break till the price breaks, right? It seems strong here. But this one here it's not going to catch up, but we'll start to define patterns with time here between these two lines here. It's parallelly going up. Basically, when the mouth here opens, okay, the price goes up because the core line is influenced with all the open, high, low, close of the predicted brain. The 4 brains influence this core line, and also the latest price of the high-low close influences this core line. So, and yeah, so when this line here squeezes down under the predicted, it means like there's pressure, down pressure. And when it's above, well, it's like resisting and it's strong, or it's got kind of more momentum. But again, it's the size of the mouth here. If it's squeezing together, then you can see that it's wider here than here. So, and just as you can see the price, there's pressure pushing this line down to this one. But yet again, the price is still climbing up, right? So sometimes what's happening here is these two lines together are actually saying we're coming down, you know? So, um, and I'm using my local host here, and I tweaked, right? I tweaked it between, see, let's see now. This is just the second price here, the about the measurement here. Let's go see the 1, 2. There's a between the price 534, 537. So this line here is closer to its price, and this one here, I'm going to go back here, 533. You know, is farther away. So that momentum tweak made this core line just a bit closer. You know, it's the idea behind the adjustment of the of your brain, where you want to use, you know, um, when you look at something, it's like if you want those lines to come in touch, right? Look right here. You know how? Look at this. How it's relevant. You know, here. Um, this is the 144 hidden layers. What does it look like? You know, and it has momentum 0.01. See this right here? It looks nice, nicely adjusted. Comes close here and then it breaks. It floats here and goes up. Now it just, what does that mean? It just hit pretty close and went just a tad under. Can I justify this tiny measurement? Well, I need more examples, right? Okay, I got the learning rate here is the same as this one for the momentum, but the learning rate is 3. You know, sometimes you can overlearn something. You skip a learning process. Here, 3 is over the core line, and here it's under. You can barely see it, but that's what it is. Just like by a little bit here. So what questions? I'm getting questions with all this, you know. Um, Now this one did that, and this one did that. It's under, over to under, so we have a cross down on with the learning rate. And this one here didn't cross down. It crossed down already. So, okay, just tiny detail. So, oh, and the 89 just crossed down right now. This is the local, okay, that I tweaked, why I chose this one is because I was observing this first shot here, which how it was close to the line, how, you know, uh, it seems like it's the one that has kind of the closest. We have this one here, 34. close lines. So that's why I just chose to create. I tweaked it this way. Now, now that I have Surge, uh, if you have a Surge installed here, okay, now that I have this kind of local working, I have an old setup, which I'm just going to delete, folks. I'm going to show you guys if you ever want to kind of investigate these these four brains, and you want to build sites, websites. It's pretty easy. This is a yarn project, so I'm going to yarn build. And what that's going to do is going to create a built folder for me, and it's going to use all the settings to build this site, right? And yeah, I'm going to CD into it right afterwards when it's going to be done. And there we go. So we're going to CD into it, build. And because I have Surge installed, I just throw the command in, right? And if you set up your email account, get your email, then it just throws you a domain, an invented domain. You can change it. Event market. Look at that. How about if I just do this event market? And this one here was 89 hidden layers. It was also a moving average, a momentum of 0.6. Yeah. So just for me to be a reminder of the site here, that this is my local host, right? And now my local host could be free now to change again to something. I could test something else. Control copy. And just open the site. Control paste. Well, that should work, I guess. There we go. And there goes the site. So here's my local host. What I'll do is I'm going to swap my local host back here and bring this one here. There we go. Now I got a new one, so I'll just start her. There we go. Get started, and we'll leave that do his job. So this is the local host. It's doing its work. But now, if I have, while observing the other things that would surge, any questions that I would have and I want to change, then I can go and change. So I could come into I have four brains, so I have open, high, low, and close. And this is where we override any tweaks that we want to do. Now, I got my hidden layers, my momentum, my learning rate, my error threshold, and iterations. Iterations and error threshold, it's one or the other, which one hits first. Usually you want your error threshold to attain this number, 0.005, or if you wanted to go deeper, I've done tests, and at some point it's I don't know how accurate it becomes, but nonetheless you can test these. 1 0 0, do it this way, like that. Um, Activation, Leaky Relu. You have sigmoid, Relu, or tan. If you use other than Leaky Relu, you have to kind of put this one out because this one only works with Leaky Relu Alpha. And I haven't read enough to explain you folks the detail of this function inside the brain. But nonetheless, that's what it is. You can play around with this and you can go and observe the result, right? So, yeah, I haven't done any tests with this videos yet. I probably will, that's for sure, uh, in the future. But for the moment, it's just a simple video on hidden layers, kind of tunneling, like what happens if you give it too much hidden layers, or does it help? Does it confuse us in our observation? But I think it helps. Um, Risk management, for that matter. Um, Now, I have four brains. Now, if, for example, you want to go crazy and your activation for the open predicted is sigmoid, okay, sure, you put sigmoid, you're overriding that brain and it's taking the high, low, and close and open as a training data. And if you're using sigmoid, you're using sigmoid. Now, if you go and for your high, okay, and you override it with tan, okay, well, now the core line, which is built with the results of these predicted, is going to be modified, okay, and because if the predicted price is modified a bit, the or like the result of individually, because there's a brain that I target four brains to individually observe what's happening. I want him to predict the high. I have one for the low, one for the open, and one for the close. So now after I could come and put things together to see how these four brains could actually work together, right? So if you're going to change it, like that's why I kind of keep it the activation always the same. If not to confuse your own observation, because but you can go crazy. Anyone can go crazy. And maybe detect patterns. It's all about patterns, right? So now I'll explain to you how I use Surge to create these sites, right? And then I could go and kind of play around and see what's the difference, you know, uh, on live data, right? And I have videos to show you. I have sites for the price of Ether, all right, LTC, but the local host is set up for BTC, so you would have to change. There's a video I show how you can change um, the price. There's certain steps you have to do here. You got to read this, all right, for the normalization of the price in the brain. And here is the call to Binance, right? And you can change the the tick here, and boom, you're set to go get ETH or whatever Binance has to offer, and you can go get gold price even, or anything Binance, any K line series, and it's a wide variety of that. Pretty cool. You don't need to be logged into Binance to get this call. This is public data, right? It's free. It's normal. It's not a hack. It's just that it has a maximum call of 500 data piece. There's other things with Binance. You cannot there's a, there's a few things you can't do, but you can do a straight call. You know. So that being said, um, let's finish off on my local hosts here. Um, what does it look like? Or let's go to the one that I just made. You know, it should be about. See if you look at the design here of these. This one, a bit together here. I'm gonna 542. It's not the same price. 546. Well, they're all unique brains, you know. The calibration, that too. So we have a. See, can we detect this kind of break here before it breaks? Is the squeeze here like, how much squeeze here is important, versus the price? If it's not good enough, maybe it's even this price is kind of negative. Um, Risk management, create triggers, stuff like that. That's what I like to observe. So this is what I have for you guys, for you folks today. It was the observation on playing around with the tweak, with the config of the brain. So there we have it, folks. And if you was enjoying, cool. Uh, See you guys on the flip side. So this is Incom, and I'm out of here.